A new clip connected to T.I. has just surfaced online, and within minutes it started spreading across social media like wildfire. Not just reposted, not just discussed, but dissected, debated, and replayed from every possible angle. According to multiple circulating reports and online discussions, the footage appears to show a moment tied to his time around incarceration, and people are reacting like they've just uncovered something brand new. But here's the thing, is it actually new, or is it the context around it that's making it feel different right now? Because when a name like T.I. starts trending alongside words like jail footage, it doesn't happen in isolation. It taps into a history that's already layered, already complicated, and already filled with moments that never fully left public memory. To understand why this clip is hitting the way it is, you have to step back and look at the full picture. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., known to the world as T.I. or Tip, isn't just another rapper whose name randomly popped into headlines. He's a figure whose career has been built on both success and controversy, often at the same time. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, he came up in an environment that shaped both his music and his public identity. Widely credited as one of the pioneers of trap music alongside artists like Jeezy and Gucci Mane, T.I. didn't just follow a wave, he helped create one. His influence on hip-hop, especially in the early 2000s, is something even critics acknowledge. Multiple Grammy wins, countless nominations, chart-topping records. On paper, this is the story of a top-tier artist who reached the highest levels of the industry. But the story doesn't stay on paper for long. Because running parallel to all of that success is another timeline, one that involves repeated interactions with the legal system. And this isn't speculation. This is part of the publicly documented history that has followed him since before he was even famous. According to widely reported accounts, his early years involved brushes with the law while he was still a teenager, setting a tone that would continue to echo throughout his career. By the time most people are figuring out what they want to do with their lives, he was already navigating situations that would later become part of his narrative as an artist. As his music career started gaining traction, those legal issues didn't just disappear. In fact, at times, they seemed to escalate right alongside his rise in fame. There were reported incidents involving weapons, probation violations, and arrests that came at moments when his career was hitting new highs. That contrast, success on stage, complications off stage, became a defining element of how the public perceived him. And what makes it even more compelling is that he often addressed these realities directly in his music, turning personal experiences into content that resonated with millions. Then came one of the most widely discussed legal situations of his career, involving federal charges connected to weapons purchases. According to public records and reporting at the time, this situation unfolded in a way that shocked both fans and the industry, especially because of the timing. Moments before a major performance, he was taken into custody, instantly shifting the narrative from celebration to controversy. From one perspective, it was seen as a serious legal misstep. From another, some argued it reflected deeper concerns about safety and the environment he was navigating. Either way, it became a turning point. Following that, there was a period where he appeared to take a different approach, engaging in community outreach and speaking to younger audiences about consequences and choices. That chapter added complexity to his image, showing a side that wasn't just about headlines but also about impact. And for a moment, it seemed like the story might shift in a more stable direction. But then, as has happened multiple times throughout his journey, new issues surfaced. Reports of further legal trouble, probation concerns, and other incidents brought his name back into conversations that had never fully faded. Each time, it reinforced a pattern, not a single event, but a cycle. And that cycle is exactly why any new footage, especially something connected to jail or incarceration, immediately carries weight. Now fast forward to the present moment. This clip that's circulating, the one people are reacting to, isn't just being viewed in isolation. It's being filtered through everything that came before it. And that's where things get interesting. Because according to some online discussions, the footage itself may not even show anything dramatically new. But the way it's being framed, the way it's being shared, and the timing of its resurfacing are what's driving the conversation. And timing matters. Right now, T.I. is also in the middle of renewed attention for reasons beyond this clip. His music is seeing a resurgence, with recent releases gaining traction and bringing his name back into mainstream conversation. At the same time, there are ongoing discussions tied to past allegations and legal disputes that continue to circulate in public spaces, even when they haven't resulted in definitive outcomes. This combination, career momentum mixed with unresolved narratives, creates the perfect environment for something like this footage to explode online. But the story doesn't stop with him. Because one of the biggest factors amplifying this situation is the involvement of his son, King Harris. Over the past few years, King has been building his own presence, both in music and online. But alongside that, there have been multiple reports of incidents involving law enforcement and public altercations that have drawn attention. And as is often the case with high-profile families, those individual moments don't stay separate for long. They start to blend into a larger narrative. According to widely circulated reports, there have been situations involving King that raised concerns about the direction he's heading in. And what makes it even more layered is that T.I. himself has publicly acknowledged understanding that mindset, referencing his own past experiences. That connection, father and son navigating similar patterns, adds another dimension to how the public interprets everything happening right now. So when footage connected to jail starts trending, it's not just about one person anymore. It becomes about a family story, a legacy, and a question of whether history is repeating itself in some form. And that's exactly the kind of narrative that the internet gravitates toward. Not just facts, but patterns. Not just events, but meaning. Then there's the added layer of industry tension. Because alongside all of this, there has been ongoing friction between T.I. and 50 Cent, which has played out publicly through social media, music, and commentary. What started as competitive energy has, according to many observers, evolved into something more personal. Diss tracks, posts, responses. It's become a back and forth that keeps both names in constant circulation. And here's where it connects back to the footage. Because in today's media environment, everything overlaps. A viral clip doesn't exist on its own. It intersects with ongoing feuds, past narratives, and current momentum. Some people are even speculating that the resurfacing of this footage could be indirectly tied to the broader attention around these conflicts. Not confirmed, not proven, but enough to keep people talking. And talking is exactly what's happening. Scroll through any platform right now, and you'll see the same questions repeating. What does the clip actually show? Why is it being shared now? Is there more footage that hasn't surfaced yet? And perhaps the biggest question of all, does this change anything about how people view T.I., or does it simply reinforce what they already believed? Because at the end of the day, perception is everything. In the court of public opinion, context can matter just as much as content. A clip that might have gone unnoticed years ago can suddenly become headline material if the timing is right. And right now, everything about this situation suggests the timing couldn't be more aligned for maximum impact. But here's the part that makes this even more complicated. Despite all of the controversy, all of the headlines, and all of the discussions, T.I. has maintained a presence in the industry that few can replicate. Music, business ventures, acting roles. He's built something that extends beyond a single narrative. And that's why moments like this don't just feel like isolated incidents. They feel like chapters in an ongoing story. So as this footage continues to circulate, and as more people weigh in with their interpretations, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just about what's in the video. It's about everything that surrounds it. The history, the timing, the connections, the questions. And until those questions are answered, or at least until the conversation moves on to the next topic, this moment is going to keep evolving. Because if there's one thing the internet has shown time and time again, it's that a single clip can spark a much bigger narrative. And right now, that narrative is still unfolding.